says Elisha's servant Gehazi, and I'm probably not pronouncing that right, was punished with leprosy forever, and forever is in quotation marks, after he was confronted by Elisha for attempting to cash in on the healing of Naaman from leprosy. This is in 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 27. It says, therefore, the leprosy of Naaman shall cling to you and your descendants forever. And he went out from his presence leprous, as white as snow. However, he resurfaces as Elisha's servant again in 2 Kings chapter 8 during a discussion with the king about the Shunammite woman's land. What happened between chapters 5 and 8? It would seem that Gehazi could no longer be Elisha's servant. So this is one of those things where I don't know without doing a deep, actually reading through those several chapters of 2 Kings there. I don't know. You have some thoughts?
Go for it. I mean, where Scripture's silent, I got to be honest and say maybe we should be too. So this is sort of just conjecture again, but there's three possibilities that came to mind. One, God miraculously healed him, and it's just not recorded. Two, the king didn't worry about the Levitical laws, because there were kings that weren't worried about the law. But if I remember correctly, in Leviticus 13 or so, there is a leprosy, but it talks about if you are white, that they didn't consider it the same as boils and things that were contagious. So it's in this, it says he was white as snow. Maybe that was a mercy, that you're going to have leprosy, but you're not going to have to be separated from your community because it's white leprosy. So they weren't too worried about it. I can look that up. I think it's Leviticus 13 or 14, 15, where it's boils and red stuff, where it was like, you've got to be separated from us. But if the priest looked at your leprosy and it was white, you were considered clean. So there's also that possibility of my, off the top of my head, three possibilities.
Dave, did you have any thoughts?
No, but I do want to back him up on what he said on. Sorry. The king not recognizing the Jewish laws, which is if you had leprosy, when you walked into a space, you had to shout out, I have leprosy, so people could avoid you. And that's what's going on now. You have to wear a mask, we're lepers. If that's what's going on. They're separating our society. There's my little political stab. Okay. But if that king didn't recognize that, then he still had his job and function, and he went and was an advocate for that woman at that moment. And that's been recorded again and again, that other people didn't consider the Jewish rules or laws.
Oh, sorry. I just want to say I looked it up. It's Leviticus 13 where it says if the priests look at the leprosy and it's white and there's a white hair, he shall be considered clean. But if they look upon the leprosy and it's still red and stuff, they shall be considered unclean. So the fact that it mentions white could be a grace from God that he's not separated from his community still.
That little church on Liberty Hill, come praise the Lord, let your cup be filled. Raise your voices and we'll sing, let God's freedom ring from that little church on Liberty